for the podcast that's just above and beyond. So thank you for having me.
So you do verify that we literally just go in and pluck somebody out of the room.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Throw you on. There was not a lot of.
No, there was zero prep. There was no script to read. There was like, hey Jed, did you want to be on the podcast? Yes. All right. Well, come on.
Good. So if you want to be on the podcast,
Impromptu.
we will select some of our favorite people and bring them in. And tonight, Jed is one of them, and Jed is one of our favorites, just period. And a guy who has recently gone from one stage of cigar smoking to hitting a graduation phase to now the hockey stick of growth pattern has begun. It is so cool.
Absolutely. Just from smoking ridiculously sized cigars that will knock you out and put you to sleep to now I actually have a palate that is refined thanks to these guys like right here. And I used to think that it was cool to get the biggest cigar that you could find because you don't know what you're tasting and you don't know what you're smoking,
right?
And then you just grab it and,
but it's $8.
I look cool,
right?
Yeah, and it's $8 and it's big, and now it's I enjoy the subtleties of all of the blends. So I have learned a lot from these guys, and I continue to learn. And being involved in cigars, I took it seriously a couple years ago. I had been smoking cigars for about 15 years, and during the 13 years, it was just backwoods, Swisher Sweets, and just stuff like that. And then I was over at CI one day, and a buddy of mine was like, hey man, did you hear about this place called Industrial that has a wait list, and then they give you a locker that's actually a humidor, and you can store your product there? I was like, really? I was like, I haven't heard of that. And I left CI, and I've been here since.
Yep. You were in here quite a bit. So what is it that kind of took you? I mean, we of course are humbled that we helped you get to the next stage. What is it that kind of triggered that thought in your mind that, man, I really want to do this. I want to learn more. I want to get more involved. What are some of the things that kind of got you thinking, man, this universe is pretty big?
What it was for the first time in my life, it was a time when I could actually put my pride aside, and when you come here, it's okay if you don't know. This is the only place in my life that I actually could step back and really put my ego aside and was like, well, you don't know it all, and this is what these guys do, and that amplified the passion for the tobacco, and that is what it is. And when I started to smoke the better cigars, the better tobaccos that are out there, the aroma, the conversation with people like we're having now, the aroma, the taste, the blends, just the absolute love that goes into every cigar that's here, and all of the hands and the processes and the factory workers that have to get up, that have families to roll it.
Yep.
And when you start thinking about all these things that it takes to get this right here, that just sent me to the moon. I mean, that is what did it.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
I'm sorry, guys. I skipped that.
We
Crucial
skipped.
step here. Yeah, forgot. Okay.
So
Cheers.
Cheers.
Salud.
Group 5.
Oh, cheers.
and cheers to these guys. Thanks.
High five. You got a high five.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we're off.
Oh man, we're totally off.
We got.
That's how it goes. That's how we start the show. Show's officially started.
Now it started.
Go in and share this show. We're going to talk about stuff that matters.
I want some questions. I
How about
want to
some
make a
questions?
challenge.
We're
I
going
want
to
some questions.
challenge
Oh, for
you
sure,
people.
yeah.
Challenge.
Ask us questions. Try to stump the family. Let's stump the team.
Actually, that's pretty good. Yeah, ask away, please. Drop them in. If you have questions, let us know. That will help us take the conversation away from the basic 3 points that we take every conversation every week.
It's now
And
4.
We're looking for the I think it's time to refresh some of the big 4. Maybe just start.
No, but
having some A, B
I
days.
think this show originally started out as a Cigar 101. Our Cigar Newbies page, and if you're not a member of Cigar Newbies, be sure to go in and join and say that you heard about it on the show, and then we'll let you in. But the Cigar Newbies page, there are some very common things that I'm seeing now particularly from people. There's a lot of people that have been smoking less than a month, and they want to be guided towards particular, what cigars should I smoke, things like that. The interesting thing is the guys that have been smoking for 2 years, 3 years, 10 years are trying to figure out how to identify the flavors that they're tasting. And I'm noticing that on a very regular basis. I think we're close. We got to be close to 1,200 members.
You know what? That's a good question. I'll double check and see where we're at right now. But we're approaching 1,200 members for a group that we don't do any promotion on. That's pretty darn good.
No, but
good,
we do.
Fantastic.
There is a lot of information, but when we first started, if you are on Cigar Newbies, there is a library of Cigar 101s. There was a perfect example of somebody that was very proud of their 5 packs of Perdomos that they scored, and that was the extent of it. Here's a picture of the cigar packs that I bought, and I, in my ultra polite way, just pointed out that this is our day job, and we're happy to answer any questions that you guys have. If we don't know it, we'll probably either make up a response, or we might ask somebody, but odds are I'll be full of shit. But anyway, the long and short of it is there are people out there at different parts of the journey. You were, like you said, you kind of stumbled around for 13 years.
Absolutely.
Now you've got definition. Now you're defining. You want to learn more about the tobacco. You want to learn more about the farmers. You want to learn more about the process. And all those things. And what I've enjoyed watching you expand and smoke different cigars and just watch that light go. And one of them was the Cochon Vallon.
Yes. And
handed you that cigar.
Do we have time for this story?
Your head exploded.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, all right. So the Cochon Vallon, I'm sure as these guys know, that is something that I have worn out completely. Just completely plowed through that. So what happened was I think it was last summer is when they were, all right, and so last summer the guys here at the shop were telling me, they're like, hey man, we have the Cochon Vallon in, and I was like, well, what the hell is that? And they're like, oh no, you need to try it. And and I would just get my sticks that Pops had turned me on to, and then I would be on my way, and then I would always see it, but I would laugh at it, and this is going to be the oddest thing, but I'm sure that maybe some people in the audience can relate to it. I didn't like the label because I thought it was very basic, very generic label, but you don't understand the treasure that is beneath that label. Right. So I had scoffed at it. The first principle I tried, I actually didn't enjoy for whatever reason, but now I do like the stick because now my palate is there, and now I know what I am tasting. So there is a member that came into the shop, and I was talking about the Cochon Vallon, and he's like, you haven't had that? He's like, what the hell is wrong with you? He was like, you live under a bridge?
Do you live under a bridge?
Not yet.
Okay. Just wanted to get that out of the way.
Not yet, but my passion for the cigars.
Most of the people we have on the show live under a bridge.
That's right.
That's where we get them.
That's right. And so we had a member that was like, wow, you really haven't tried that? And I was like, nah, man, and I'm not into it because I don't like the label and the name is weird. And he's like, just try it. Just try it, and you'll thank me later. About $500 later. But anyway, so I had lit the stick up, and I am smoking, and you would actually come around, and you're like, are you okay? And Pops had seen me too. I just had the biggest smile ever, and I smoked it down till I had no fingertips left, no fingerprints, and I still kept smoking. And then when they came into the shop here, man, it was a mad dash to get those. It always is to get the Cochons.
It looked like we threw a chicken in the lake with a bunch of piranhas. I walked out and said, ladies and gentlemen, Cochons are in. Yep. And it was a dash. We sold 750 Cochon Vallons from 3 in the afternoon on a Saturday till 7 o'clock that night.
Yeah, makes sense.
750.
That's a lot of cigars. Yeah.
And it added to my journey because I will say this, us as humans, and maybe I'm wrong, but this is from my experience, is you have to force yourself to try different things. You just have to.
You mentioned ego a couple of times.
Yes.
What's up, Rats?
You've been smoking for a while. Did your ego get in the way?
Absolutely.
So you were you stuck on name brand big box stuff? Were you stuck on prestige lines that have a perception?
He was stuck on a profile.
Yeah.
Stuck in a profile.
Yeah, he thought
Absolutely.
he had to have strong.
Absolutely, yes. Yes, and I thought that I always had to have a cigar that makes you sick and that puts you to sleep. And, you know, what these guys helped to point out was the elegance of the cigar and just everything that goes with it. It's really, you know, the brotherhood that goes with it and the conversation and everything that I had said before, and, you know, just the absolute love that goes into it is just something that I really never thought that I would develop because with the cigars for me, it was, hey, it's a bunch of us are getting together and we're going to watch the game and I got you a cigar. That's how it was, you know. It's like we're drinking the dirty beers and, you know, and we have these big fat sticks and we're smoking and we don't know what we're smoking or tasting, and that was years ago, and now it's much more different. And so I really thank these guys.
How much? I don't mean to be asking all the questions, Brandon and Adrian.
Oh, the questions are good, so I'm not stepping on your toes here.
I wonder. We've talked about this in the past. How much does environment? You talked about the community and having conversations. How much does that impact the experience you have with us?
It's everything. I enjoy my cigars more when I'm up at the shop because we are like-minded people enjoying what we enjoy. And it's much more pleasurable to have a conversation and a cigar. Now, don't get me wrong. It's like I have my sticks, you know, that I'll go outside, and, you know, and I'll read a book and I'll like. But overall, it's the sense of belonging, you know, and you get that belonging because you instantly can sit down. That's like we're talking now, and I can go on a tangent about the cigars, and you guys know that. That is what it is for me, and that is what I enjoy so much about the cigars is just the smoke and everything, and just the sense of community and the belonging is what it is.
Where was your, now I have a feeling that your mindset was going to the asking the environment changing your preference. Is that where you were at? Like,
no, you know,
you'd smoke
I mean,
something.
I hope I answered that right.
There are times that, and I mean, if you equate it to a meal, I mean, I can cook a steak on the grill as good as anybody, and they're good. But it seems like if you're at a steakhouse with a couple of guys and you're having a good conversation, for some reason, the steak tastes better.
Absolutely.
And if you're in that good environment, and I'm with you, sometimes I just want to sit out back and smoke a cigar, just want to be by myself. But I think that's what I'm wondering is that how much has that become part of your journey?
That is everything now, and that has helped to amplify the journey. And my examples that I can give is when I'm around people, I am more likely to try something different. I am more likely to continue to put the effort into building and developing my palate and my taste and my knowledge, versus if I'm by myself, then I'll grab Old Faithful or whatever it is. So then as soon as I get around other people,
out of the rut.
Yeah, it makes sense.
That's right. And so I break out of the norm and I make myself uncomfortable. And that forces me to try new stuff.
I'm curious for the people who are tuning in and paying attention to the question as far as creating your own atmosphere. We're blessed to have people who join us every week to just sit and have a cigar with us, whether they're in the lounge or not. And I'm curious because I'm with you. It's enjoyable to sit and have a cigar with friends because you get to maybe introduce a novelty to somebody or have that done to yourself. But for people who are maybe not in our area, how do you develop your own environment so it's open to new experiences? Or do you just want something, sometimes I just want the same movie I've seen a million times, I put it on, and I just want to hit it on repeat and sit for a little bit. Adrian, what do you think? What's the best way that you develop an environment?
I come from an environment of, I've been smoking cigars for about 30 years now, and I started with the Swisher Sweets, right? And a desert bonfire type scenario, but I was surrounded with friends. And I think that has carried on even until today, right? So I went from a bonfire in the desert of El Paso to sitting in a beautiful lounge with leather chairs and just an opulent, environment. And I enjoy it, surrounded by friends. And I think that's the
common
yeah.
common thread.
Yeah.
That's right. And I would like to add to that. And I think that it's not only the people, but it's the way that the shop is set up. It's just so welcoming, and just anyone that comes in here is just family. And, that just adds to the environment, the comfortable chairs and, the soft music that's playing and the lighting. And it really sets the tone, and it helps
Get your mood right.
Absolutely.
That's so many
My
times.
mood
How
is
many
right,
times
yes.
have we sent somebody out? We just said it to Adrian with a special cigar that he's got. Make sure your mind's right before you smoke some of these.
Right.
Because there are some cigars that you go through the utility of smoking. And then there are some cigars where you really got to pay attention. Get in the cigar.
Yeah.
And just commit to getting into the cigar.
Well,
and search for those flavors. And by the way, you guys, if you guys have any questions, comments, we talk about this all the time. Tuesday night is our favorite. That Saturday mornings are our two favorite mornings in the cigar lounge, because we get to do this. We got to do it, of course, together. But I think that what drives this whole thing is your guys' questions and feedback that comes in. We want to know what you guys are experiencing.
Do you see what Josh put in there?
Yeah.
Josh said, I think Adrian was present for and part of my introduction to cigars a little over 10 years ago. Shared experiences with friends for sure.
Yeah, Josh is a longtime friend, one of my rover buddies, and that's, we share a common thread in the Land Rover world, but after we finish rovering, we'll sit down in the campfire, get ourselves some tequila, bourbon, and share a cigar. And for those that have never tried, I'm sure Josh is one of them, like, hey, try this. If you never smoked a cigar, you want to try this. Mm-hmm. And he probably felt, included because of that.
And almost to that point, I have basically two modes of smoking a cigar. Maybe third if you just include working. But one is the way we're explaining. Hanging on the patio, sitting in here, actually enjoying a cigar. What I noticed is when I'm by myself, I don't enjoy the cigar as much. And I tell myself, I tell myself, and as a matter of fact, it happened last night. We went outside, it was beautiful weather. It's like, I'm gonna smoke a cigar tonight, and I just didn't want to. I just didn't want to go sit out there by myself and look at the trees or sit on my phone. I would rather do something else. Yeah. For me, if it's not social, I can sit and work with a cigar, no problem by myself.
Right.
But unless I got some shit I gotta work through in my own mind, I'm not gonna smoke a cigar by myself.
That was me for many years, because Kathleen was not a cigar smoker. And obviously she comes down and hangs out with us, and she's totally a cigar smoker. But before, it was just, I'd go in the back patio, and it was kind of like, I don't enjoy this.
Yeah, it's not the same.
In San Antonio, we didn't have a lounge like this. I would go to a lounge, but you didn't have the camaraderie. You just had dudes that walk in there and hang out with themselves.
They go through the utility of smoking the cigar, and then they drive home.
That's it.
That's the biggest bummer. Going
It
to
is.
another lounge that I've been to not too distant future, or in the distant past.
Yeah.
Sit in there and you get used to being here. You get used to being like just kind of laughing in like double Dutch, and then no one lets you in. And no one lets you in.
Yeah,
Fuck, I don't want to do any of this.
Exactly.
Say hello and what's up, how's it going, whatever, and that's it.
Likewise,
Exactly.
Robert.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you as well, Robert. Glad you're joining us.
And I saw Rob was in, here's a guy that lives on the other side of Fort Worth. For those of you not coming in from the Dallas area, it's an hour, minimum hour at 70, 80 miles an hour to get here. And it's a commitment, because he drives past so many cigar lounges to get here. The last count is they're close to 90 cigar lounges in Dallas. DFW area.
90?
90.
Jeez.
Yeah. So you're sitting here looking at, he passes 15 cigar lounges to get,
Oh, easily.
but when he's here, man, you can tell he's home.
Yeah, but it feels that way too, because I think that is maybe a point of difference. Is everyone feels the distance when he comes in. For me at least, that's what I see. I see someone who's committed, so I'm going to absolutely commit to what he's done. I think what we continuously do, and it's not easy to set a culture. It takes all of us together. What's up, Kevin? But it's not easy to develop the culture, but we started it, and I think we have this like beautiful circle of, just like what you were saying, Jed, is I know if I've got somebody's first time in, I can sit them next to you.
Absolutely.
You're going to take off running with it.
Absolutely. And the thing that impressed me was the first time I ever came in here, it was unlike anything I had experienced. I mean, you guys, because it really felt like I'd known y'all for years.
Mm-hmm.
Was like, oh, hey, Jed, how about you? Welcome back. And the funny thing is I told these guys my name the first time. They've never forgot it. And they said it right, because people say my name, or I'm sorry, and I tell folks my name, and they're like, Jeb? No, Jed.
Yeah.
Jared? No, Jed. Oh, Jeff?
Yeah.
No, Jeb. Jeb? No,
At
Jed.
that point, you're like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Exactly, and
Doesn't
we're
matter,
gonna
I'm not
roll
coming
with
back.
it, right? But these guys, man, they nailed it the first time, and I've noticed that whenever you enter, or like whenever we have a new customer that comes in, you guys know everyone's name that is in the shop right now. What other place would do that?
Yeah, you
And
got
I think more importantly, for the most part, our staff knows what you smoke. If I get something new in, I'll know whether it's the right thing to recommend to you or it's not going to be in your wheelhouse. And just kind of run you down that path. Evan Hurst, who's somebody we haven't shaken hands officially, but he's been in here. He's bought stuff from us online. He lives in BFE, Illinois, but and friends of Larry Adams, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But here's a guy that when he comes here, he's going to be like a family reunion.
Well, just like when Larry came in, right?
Yeah. Oh,
The same.
Yeah.
The same.
We took pictures and then they're part of the family. It's like, yeah.
It's incredible what's happening here. It
I don't
really
like
is.
Sean Ratz's comment.
Sean, I did see that. I wanted to almost skate over the bad news,
I read it for
but
the third time. And Sean, are you saying that no cigar smoking at your shop? Is that what you're saying?
yeah, he just goes through all this building of shops, got this beautiful place, got this wonderland, a
Yeah.
top terrace, everything, and then first day he tries to smoke a cigar and you can't do it anymore.
What's the cluster? I mean,
Yeah. Oh, what's happening, Chris?
no, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
we got Chris in. We got
Hollywood.
Trader is in.
Some shit. Yeah, Tom, Frank.
Yeah, Trader sat here and watched the show for 2 years, and then fortunately we got him back here recently. But looking forward to being back every day.
I think he's coming to F1. And if you guys haven't come to F1 yet,
Oh,
come
my
to
God.
F1.
Yeah.
Just get the paddock passes. You don't have to be an F1 fan to enjoy this. It's really a great opportunity to be in the lounge before it opens. Just sit, have a mimosa, have a cigar.
What's up, Denny?
It is kick-ass.
It
really
is.
What's up, Denny Calloway?
And hats off to my kid. So today I wake up and I go on my normal thing, and tobacco business is our industry's largest trade. And here I'm scrolling through the headlines of what's happening in the global cigar world on the industry side. And here is industrial cigar, or no, I didn't even think in the headline. I think it just said retailer launches F1 watching parties, and I'm like, well, who the hell stole our freaking concept, sons of bitches? And I clicked on it, boom, there's the picture of the F1 car that Brandon designed, and that was an idea, and it was a whole story about what the F1 watching parties are all about. So it is. What we do here, and by the way, for some of you guys that are coming in and want to know who we is and who are the shop, we're Industrial Cigars in Frisco, Texas. But it was great to see that, and I realized at that point that there are, and I even commented on our when I shared it with our page, there are F1 fans all over the world right now pissed off that they don't live in Frisco, Texas, because
right, yes.
they can't go to the F1 watching party.
Ezra Roizen, man, what's happening, Ezra? He's out in the Bay. He lives right on the Bay. Okay, so I need a favor from the people who are watching. If you guys can go ahead, go to industrialcigars.co and drop as a response a few different recommendations for Ezra. If he's going to go in and buy some cigars, a best of pack, I'm going to drop you one that you can't walk away from, you can't miss, Ezra. Please tell Bambi we say hello. Just Branson, I'm sure he's running businesses by now, but sending nothing but love from Texas. I'm going to drop.
This is fantastic.
It's a great cigar.
Yeah, you do that.
So what all are we smoking
He's
here?
from Frisco, but the shitty one. He's out in San Francisco.
Literally the shitty one. Shit in the streets.
Oh, I get it.
Let's talk about what we're smoking. I am smoking still, and I got here at 6, and I lit this cigar. This is the brand new cigar called the Chairman from Definition Cigars. Maybe the slowest smoking cigar I've smoked, and it is spectacular.
You can't go wrong.
Medium profile. Jabon has done. That's a young man we've watched just grow and make better cigars after better cigars, and we're kind of a sounding board when new cigars are ready to hit the road. But this cigar, the Chairman, right down the middle, medium profile. There's no pepper. It's got a nice floral note to it. And I'm not a pepper fan. I'm not a heavy oily fan. This cigar has I don't know what wrapper he's using on this, but it's beautiful. But it is, what, 8:30? What time is it? 8:30, quarter to 9, something like that?
Almost 9, yeah.
Almost 9. I've been on this thing for 3 hours, and I'm 2/3 of the way through it.
What's making it so sweet?
I don't know if the binder's got to have, he's got to have some binder in here that's controlling this combustion rate, because it is super slow.
What's up, Chris?
But it's still burning good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's spectacular. Absolutely spectacular.
We got Sam is coming in smoking a Caldwell Midnight Express.
Ooh.
We have
Caldwell's notoriously a peppery cigar.
Yep, and then you have Sean Rath smoking Luciano Private Select tonight.
Ooh.
And
Peter,
Chris
that's just
Remy
showing
Thomas
off.
smoking
That's
a
showing
house
off.
stick that he dipped the cap in mesquite honey.
Really?
I'd like to try that.
That's right.
You are smoking a limited edition German engineered cigar.
I don't know if that's an LE. I don't think that's a limited edition.
It isn't?
No, the Auto no.
Oh, okay.
How do you say that?
That is the no namen. The no namen
Oh,
is
okay.
that's normal production.
That's a good. Have you had that before?
No, and that is what I was going to say is this is something that once again, I had gone past it, and from now on, I am just going to give these guys my debit card and be like, hey, just charge it and just give me some sticks to try, because if Pop's not given me this beautiful cigar, I would have never ever tried it.
Because the label is as generic as it gets.
I mean, it's just
the label design is very.
it's just bland.
It's cool,
right.
but it is. You got to kind of get it.
It's fantastic.
But-
Nice and smooth, and this is a cigar that, for me and for my experience, I actually would enjoy this in the wintertime, because the smoke it's kind of warm, and it kind of soothes my passages on the retro.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of warming, about a medium bodied, and I get just a little bit of pepper, but it's subtle, some earthiness and some cashew. Fantastic blend.
That's the way that they describe that in their purpose statement for that cigar is: in a white room, in a comfortable lounge chair, your senses guiding you, feeling free and lighthearted. That's like the way they talk about things is just right up my alley. It's
it's so out there.
Yeah, everything.
This cigar industry is Nicaraguan wrapper, Nicaraguan binder, some Nicaraguan and Dominican filler. It's $7.99. How many do you want? That is the world that we live in.
Meanwhile,
except these guys are like you're entering space.
Well, that German engineer RVGN is coursing around Nuremberg in an open race car on a magnificent sunny morning. It's like, yeah, that's what it is.
That's the blue label.
That's a blue label.
Yeah.
It's built, and then my favorite one is their round sight, which is a black label, which we'll get again in July. Traveling at the speed of light far beyond the next galaxy, while a friendly android serves cake. That sounds so stupid,
Yeah.
but when you smoke it, you realize there's something there that they just engineered for that.
Yeah.
Robert
So,
smoking a Bandolero.
Abe, what are you smoking? Besides Brandon's cigar.
The Zulu Zulu.
Always.
Zulu,
Yeah.
Zulu, Connecticut.
Yeah.
Grand Habano,
Grand Habano, Zulu Zulu. It's been my favorite for a while now.
George Rico's personal blend.
German engineered, definitely up there as well. And then this weekend we got
Terra Novas.
Terra
Novas
Nova
in,
from
and
United.
That
That is
Brandon
a-
just threw them on the website.
I did.
The new Terra Nova. Though there's two
Aperique.
different versions. Aperique. That is
Yeah.
no joke. That is a beautiful
I
cigar.
bought a box when we had the event Friday.
Yep.
Friday.
I have 4 left.
No shit. Yeah,
Wow.
that's what I've seen. It's
Yeah.
magnetic
Wow.
like the Zulu
It's,
Zulu.
it's sessionable.
It's easy
Yeah.
to go back to.
So we term cigars sessionable. Sessionable being a cigar
Yeah.
that when you get done with it, you go, I want another one.
Yep.
And I ended Friday night with 2, and I started Saturday morning and I had 2. So yeah,
That's why I have
I could
all
see
that.
where you
Yeah,
could
yeah.
blow through some boxes pretty quick.
Well, I mean, I have to say that Kathleen enjoys that as well.
It's
So,
a
I'll have to
universal
get a couple
it's a
more
universal
boxes.
cigar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really
It
works
took her out
nice.
to Atabase, so I'm like,
Yeah.
because she got turned on to Atabase, my wife, and I'm like, luckily she's not like 2 to 3 cigar smokers like we are cigars, but Atabase, you know, it's to me it's a celebratory cigar. It's a cigar that you go to when you know you want something good, perfect, and you're gonna have a good time,
Yeah.
whether you celebrate or not.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can make anything a
Oh, yeah.
celebration with
What do
that
you
cigar.
got going on there,
I'm
Brian?
actually smoking the Grand Reserva. This is Grand Habano, the 2012. And
Fantastic.
what I will say is, on paper, you would run away from this cigar. Double Ligero. It uses some Costa Rican tobacco. It's a unique blend on paper, but it's a beautiful example of what age does to a cigar.
Amen.
It is.
Age is your friend.
When you gave this to me, because I wasn't feeling real hot, I thought, oh, that's going to be way too strong. But I'm
It's
telling you,
not. I
there's
smoked it the other day and it's not.
sweetness, there's floral elements to it. It's deep, it's
Yeah.
rich, it's dark, but absolutely fantastic. I've walked past this cigar too many times.
And that cigar, they call it the 2012 because the tobacco was harvested in 2012. So you're talking about 10 years of age, and shit just gets really mild. I mean, I don't want to say mild from a cigar standpoint. Just everything's toned down and everything goes into balance.
all of the flavors are there, but none of the aggression is there.
Yeah.
It's a very nice cigar. I need to stop walking past this.
So we're 40 minutes in. Surprisingly, great conversation. Hit him with the next first question.
Okay, so you're ready for the big 4. The
Absolutely.
big 4, as everybody knows, you guys are all fans of the big 4. We originally were big 3, but then a fourth one was added to the mix with one of our sit-ins. This is purely a way for us to judge your character,
Yep.
judge
Everyone
the person that you are, and yes, we are going to be judgmental.
and there
I'm
are
nervous
wrong
about this
answers.
one.
There
Yes.
are wrong
Oh,
answers.
yes.
There are wrong answers. Right now, Adrian leads with the majority of the wrong answers. So,
I don't know.
I mean, so question number 1.
Yes, sir.
Sasquatch. Does he exist?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, he says.
On a
Doesn't even
scale-
think about it.
Scale of 1 to 10, what do you sit on? 1 is Adrian, 10 is
10 is somebody
The
walk through your
Sasquatch, yeah.
backyard.
0.
He's 0.
I'm 0.
Oh, you're
10,
0.
10 is you saw him, you thought he was a hitchhiker, you were going to take him. Where are you at 1 to 10?
I
1,
would-
0 being Adrian.
I would say Sasquatch comes in at a strong 8 for me.
That is
Nice.
strong.
That's strong.
That might be like McClurkin territory.
That,
A
look
strong
about
eight.
McClarkin.
Strong 8
Yeah.
for me, for
Have
sure.
you talked to Mark McClurkin?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mark's
He's-
fantastic.
Okay, good. Okay.
Mark is fantastic.
Yes.
And I love Mark.
Robert
Have you talked to him about Sasquatch?
I have not,
He's a Sasquatch.
Oh, okay. Well,
Okay, that's-
say
okay,
less.
Now you'll be a 10.
Yes.
In fact, if you want, they're putting together a little cluster of haters,
Gun-toting bastards.
gun-toting bastards, and stuff like that, and they're going to go up to Oklahoma and they're going to go chase one of these.
They're gonna
We're
hunt for the
bring him back.
Squatch.
We're gonna stuff him, and it's gonna be the
I
cigar.
can't wait.
It'll be the cigar store Squatch out
Cigar
front.
Indian is gonna be the cigar Sasquatch.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
Taxidermy.
Okay. What's number 2?
I like
Number
it. I like where we're going with this right now.
I kind of I kind of want to know why.
Oh.
I mean, that's a strong hate. That's
Why?
strong, yeah.
All right. So, really quick, because I don't want to drag it out, but when you think of the amount of forestry that is undiscovered,
Yeah.
that
I know what you're
humans
saying.
have never been in, and a lot of the eyewitness accounts, a lot of what they describe and what they see is pretty similar.
Similar, yeah.
There is really no lines of what's the term when you take a lie detector, or there's really no lines of deception. So it's kind of like with the UFOs, you know, it's what people see is they all pretty much describe the same thing, and if they're ordinary people, they don't have an agenda. So what is their agenda for wanting to bring it up? Because a lot of them don't even want to talk about it, so they don't want the money or fame. They're just saying like, hey, like this is what I've seen. And when you have seasoned hunters, people that have hunted their whole life, and like, hey, and I saw this and that.
That Les Stroud, the Survivor Man, is a huge believer.
Did you ever watch the Survivor Man where he
Bigfoot
went on
stuff?
and it was like 2 episodes?
I did.
He was close and it was in HD. Did you see that with
Well,
there was a little one?
Yeah, I mean, oh no, that was fake as shit. That was fake as shit. The one that was looking at the camera and
Oh
stuff?
man!
Well, it was kind of in the woods.
Oh no, that was super fake.
And you opened up the rabbit hole with me.
Okay,
And
So he brought the little fucking Weebo. What's that thing from Star Wars? The little
Ewok.
Ewok. He brought the little Ewok up there, planted him up there, and said, "Don't move. I'm gonna go sit down in this tree.
Yes.
Just don't throw any rocks at
Are
me."
you seeing the one that's just sitting there and it looks over and it looks kind of like a gorilla?
Yeah.
That's fake as shit, man. That's too easy. That's too easy.
I hope one of these
He's got
bitches just attack your ass, maul you,
they'll eat you.
Yeah.
shoot it with a 22, and it's just like get out of
At
here.
least I know where I sit on the
And the
spectrum.
Zapruder film was very convincing. So.
Oh, jeez. That guy got arrested for fraud.
I don't think you're 100% accurate on that.
Zapruder film?
No, the original
The
Bigfoot.
original.
The original Bigfoot. I think the gentleman who got arrested for fraud is like the exact. I think there's enough research back there to show that.
But that was like
I think he got caught for fraud for
that was like
bouncing a
Super
check
8
for renting
film.
the thing.
that was Super 8 film. That wasn't like they were going to go in and do editing with all this digital shit.
Right.
Superimposing and all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Right, but that is where I stand with that is you've had so many experts that have analyzed it and they've talked about it, and you can't discredit people that have dedicated their life to cryptozoology and stuff like that.
Watch him. Watch him. He's discredit him right now.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
That's good. Number 2.
Yes.
Let's keep this one in the pocket. Aliens
Absolutely.
on the planet Earth.
Oh, so kind of like the reptilians that live among us.
Let's go ahead and run with that one.
Okay.
Let's run with that one. We haven't had that spin off yet.
So, and if I start to talk too much, then you'll have to slow me down and you'll have to reel me back in. We'll have to land the plane. With the aliens, you have to remember that we are a little blue speck amongst a violent and turbulent universe that could obliterate us at any time. So when you take into consideration the amount of miles that are in a light year, and the universe is trillions of light years, it is arrogant and it's inconceivable to think that we could be the only ones. There is absolutely no way.
I'm with you.
I mean,
You're a hard 0?
0.
oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm on.
Even after I sent you that compelling fact
Yeah.
of a 10,000-year-old block of
So I
aluminum when
replied.
they didn't have aluminum until the 1800s.
I replied.
Oh, I'm gonna say it. Okay, don't give that up because
Did you see it?
No,
I
I
sent
watched
you
the
the
video,
video of the deal that they found by the Mastodon. They drilled. They went down like how many feet?
Like 35 feet.
That's not
35
bad.
feet. They uncovered a Mastodon, and it was where was it, in Peru or someplace?
I don't remember.
But so anyway, they uncover it, and it's a full Mastodon. And then there's in the same area was this what looks like an aluminum hinge, and they tested it, and it had
Aluminum
12.
and copper. And
It had
copper.
12 different elements in it, but it was majority of it was aluminum, and they didn't really identify aluminum until like the 1860s. But
Yeah.
this dates back 10,000 years, and it has
It's pretty
it's like a
defined.
foot,
It's defined.
and it has
There's
a joint,
hole.
and it has
Yeah,
two
really.
holes drilled in it. So you can see where they scraped it off in order to do the testing, but they've aged it to 10,000 years, and obviously, what would that be? 11,800 years later, they started using aluminum. So it's pretty
Oh, it's
interesting.
Compelling. It's compelling.
That is right. And so,
Aliens for sure. Robert coming in with an aliens for sure.
oh, yeah.
Sam, Fennel coming in.
Again,
Correct.
all redheaded actresses are aliens. There's just no doubt in my mind.
There's no proof against that.
They're cornering the market. They're out there.
What's the third question?
Third question is ghosts. Do ghosts, as in they appear real? And then there's an adjunct question to that.
Well,
And if you have had a ghostly experience, what was it?
okay, so I have not had a ghostly experience, but I do believe they could exist, but the ghosts are something that I would have to see for myself because I don't get scared of things. And so I would say the reason why I am leaning more towards the Bigfoot and the aliens is because, you know, this monster creature that lives in the woods because I go into the woods a lot. So knowing that something could be behind me or that's watching me, that's a little frightening. And I'm a big fan of studying the universe, and I know it's mathematically impossible for us to be the only. Physicists can prove this. So, but with ghosts, there is nothing to really measure. There is no way that I can measure that.
Yeah.
And so
That's a logical third. That's a logical third.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
The adjunct question is, there's the ghosts that appear, that people say they see, but what about spirits? Somebody dies, they come visit you in your dreams, or spirits do.
Well, Newton did say that energy is neither lost nor destroyed. So we are energy right now. So the laws of physics within this universe states that your energy, your aura, it goes somewhere else. And so it could be in the fourth dimension, which we just haven't found yet. And so that energy has the capabilities of somehow communicating in the third dimension, which we live in now, which a lot of physicists and a lot of theoretical physicists state that there could be up to 12 dimensions where the laws of physics through each of those dimensions are completely different, and they think that they're stacked like pieces of paper. So you have the first, second, third, fourth, and then
Adrian
so on
lives
and
in
so
the
forth.
second.
He's first dimension.
He's on the ground floor. Ground floor.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Zero.
I have 3% on this laptop. Let's go to the fourth and run this bitch till the wheels fall off.
Okay. So the fourth is, what is your spirit animal?
Spirit animal. Oh my goodness! Now the hardest one, and I actually got to think about it, but I'm going to go quick. Oh my
So
god!
Brandon,
Okay,
Brandon
what's
was
Brandon?
given his,
Yeah.
and you haven't really jumped off of it.
No, I'm for it.
You're
I'm
all in.
I'm doubling in on it, and
Yeah.
I tell you what, I do appreciate. Larry Adams just calls me Stag now, so I'm for that.
Adrian, have you come up with one?
No, that's why I'm laughing because we talked about this last week, and I'm like, I But someone gave me. I think you
A
you
snake.
gave me one. You gave
No,
me-
that's what
Was it a
Anthony gave
snake?
himself. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
thinking like a big.
Oh no, it's a panther.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's what you gave was a big. Yeah, I was thinking like a big cat of some sort.
Yeah.
No
Sneaky-
offense or anything. But a
Sneaky,
big one.
crawling around,
You big
waiting
pussy.
for the opportunity to
Yeah.
pounce.
Pounce.
Yeah, Hoskins last week gave a snake, and we thought that's kind of
Yeah,
weird, but
biblically that doesn't work
But
out.
then he kind of talked about it, and I think, well, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I'm an eagle.
You're an
I
eagle.
just, yep. I just
You're bestowed,
fly over the top and just,
You're bestowed yours.
Yeah.
Bestowed yours. I'll go with Panther.
Yeah.
okay.
And
It's our question.
I actually would go with a canine, and I think it plays into
100% agree.
my personality, you know, because I think that I'm a decent judge of character, as are most of the canines, and you know, I'm friendly, and you know, I enjoy having friends because that's what keeps me going. So
That is, I couldn't agree more with that. When,
Yeah.
when I see him come in, he's like all excited.
He's
to be
like
in
the
here.
dog. You can be
He's-
gone for a week,
right?
and you get home, and that dog is just like, I didn't miss you for a second, but
like
man, am I glad you're here.
golden
Absolutely.
retriever.
I had a golden retriever for 18 years. Best dog ever.
That I think to me,
Okay.
if I was gonna put Jen at anything, it is a golden retriever. Like just happy as shit. Always just, even if he's having a rough day, he's excited to see you, and you're gonna know it. And when you're around him, like, oh man, this is a cool dude. I just want to hang out with this guy.
Yeah.
So growing up, not growing up, but when we had, as soon as we had kids, we had a golden retriever and a pit bull. And the pit bull we had was super nice. They're both super nice dogs. But the meanest of the two, what do you think?
Well,
It was the golden.
the gold.
You would think it'd be the
Yeah.
the pit, but the golden when she needed to like react, oh, she was on. But the sweetest dog, and when we would walk him, Kathleen would have the pit bull Tora. I'd have the golden. People would avoid me and then go to Kathleen because that was the golden. The sweetest dog, always smiling, you know, great, but
dead.
could be me. And we're done.
All right, well,
So
let's sign him off.
the camera's dead.
Camera's not dead, but the broadcasting
You're right.
device
I
is.
see it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm seeing us looking like we're pretty still framed.
Yep.
So,
So that's it. That's Tuesday evening, Cigar Talk Live. Thank you everyone who joined us. Sending nothing but love your direction, and we'll catch you tomorrow on Lead and Leaf.
No, we're taking the day off tomorrow.
Take the day off. You deserve it.
Yeah.
We'll catch you Saturday at the shop, 10:10 Saturday morning.
come up for F1.
Be up there.
And thank you guys for having me. This was a pleasure, and to be honest, I could have talked for hours about things.
That's
That's just the way
We
I
can
am.
sit here and talk.
Well, if the battery held up,